I packed my passport, a few clothes, and left the apartment while my boyfriend was still begging me to stay. For 5 years, I convinced myself that Ethan would eventually put our relationship first. He loved me. I know he did. But somehow, his friends were always a little more important. If we had dinner plans, someone would call and he'd cancel. If we planned a weekend together, he'd invite his friends halfway through. Every time I brought it up, he'd apologize. "I'll do better." And every time I believed him. The trip was what finally broke me. I spent months planning a romantic anniversary getaway to Colorado. I booked the cabin, researched the hikes, and even bought a ring because I was going to propose to him at sunrise in the mountains. 3 days before we left, Ethan casually mentioned that 2 of his friends were joining us. I thought they were staying nearby. I was wrong. Every breakfast became a group breakfast. Every hike became a group hike. Even the candlelit restaurant I'd reserved weeks earlier turned into a table for 4. I remember sitting across from Ethan while he laughed with his friends. And for the first time in 5 years, I felt like a guest in my own relationship. When we got home, I couldn't pretend anymore. I packed my important things and arranged to stay with my best friend until I figured everything out. Ethan came home late that night. I told him, "Please let me finish before you interrupt me." Then I asked, "How do you think the trip went?" He smiled and said, "It was amazing. Everyone had such a great time." Everyone, not us. I asked him why he'd invited his friends on an anniversary trip. He shrugged and said, "They'd always wanted to see Colorado. I thought it would be fun." I stared at him. "You never even asked me." Then I asked the question that had been sitting in my chest for weeks. Did it ever cross your mind that I might have planned something important for us? He looked confused. "What do you mean?" I opened my bag and placed the velvet ring box on the table. His face completely changed. "You were going to propose?" I nodded. He kept saying, "We can fix this. Don't throw away 5 years over one bad trip." But it wasn't one trip. It was 5 years of being told I'd come first while constantly feeling like I came third. As I walked out the door, he grabbed my hand one last time. I gently pulled away and said, "I needed a partner, not a place on the waiting list." Then I left the ring behind and drove into the night, wondering why loving someone had made me forget to choose myself.